But yo, man, we got a
Yeah,
great show planned for y'all today. I want to
yeah,
shout out you, bro, for getting our next week guest on the line. Samaki Walker, NBA champion. Samaki Walker will be
yeah,
with us next
yeah.
week. That's dope. He had a moment where he talked about Luka not playing defense, and everybody, the world was talking about it and how the generation is soft. So we gonna talk about it next week because that was some of our sentiments. When we had our guy A Murrow on talking about how these guys be talking about Kobe Bryant and these former NBA players and how they try to discredit his legacy and
And
things of that
change the
nature. So
narrative on them and try to change their narrative.
they
That's
narrative.
one. That was one of Samaki points too, and I agree. A lot of people. It's like on a lower level, but it's like even like say my man Barry. It's like
Uh huh.
when we was in college, we doing certain things, and now that we older, it's like people wasn't the thing back then, but they want to try to change history by trying to downplay us and this, and it's like, yo, history is what it is. You can't
Mm-hmm.
change it and make yourself popping because
Mm-hmm.
now you have time to speak and try to
Mm-hmm.
rewrite history.
Right.
Nah. And that's a lot of guys try to do now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And we definitely going to talk about it because it's something that needs to be talked about, and it's something that, again, with the podcast culture and it giving a lot of these people voices,
Yeah.
is a problem because there's no kind of restrictions to what a person can do when they start a podcast, and especially when you got notoriety like these former NBA players they already have a following. So to come out
Yeah.
and they're able to spew this rhetoric to their following and to a mass of people, and you got people that follow them may take heed to what they say and they start spreading those false narratives, and it just becomes a whole plague of like back and
Yeah.
forth for false narratives. So yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
talk about it, man. Shout out to Samaki Walker, NBA champion Samaki Walker. We're gonna
Yes,
have him on
yes.
next
For
week, and
sure.
we're gonna talk about a lot of things for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, but episode 22 this week we got, a lot of good things to chat with y'all about. I mean,
Absolutely.
football season right around the corner, so we could get it
Mm-hmm.
start over some football. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
shout out to Shador Sanders, had his preseason debut. He did his
Mm-hmm.
damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy that he did his thing. They got like a million quarterbacks over there. So
Mm-hmm.
it was looking like, he wouldn't have an opportunity, but they're not the greatest team. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
he looking like he's set up to fail. But it's like all he could do is just do his part, what he could control. So
Right.
salute to him for showing out in that preseason debut. And I'm excited, because I think he's gonna prove a lot of people wrong. For sure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, if you go by his stats, man, he was 14 to 23, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a passer rating of 106.8. And the key thing that he did, no interceptions. He did not throw the ball away. He was very careful with that ball. And he took 2 sacks. He had 19 rushing yards for 4 carries. I watched the game. Did you watch the game?
No, I didn't get to watch it.
Okay. Well,
I
I
just saw
actually
some
watched the
highlights.
game. Huh?
I said I just saw some highlights.
Okay. I mean, I actually watched the game, and granted, we're not gonna go over the hill with it because it was a lot of the fourth stringers, third. It wasn't the actually starters. None of those guys was in the game. But
Yeah.
again, to Shador's a comp to attest to Shador and what he did what he did with what he was given, right? So he was off to a shaky start at first watching the game. I'm like, man, he looking like a fourth round pick. But then after a while, once he got cool, calm, cool and collected, he started reading the defense more and he started doing his thing. And the stadium, it was in Carolina, but the stadium was filled with Shador fans, like filled with Brown. I'm like, where are the Panthers fans? This is embarrassing. Even if it was a preseason game, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
It should be more fans for the Panthers out there than Shador Sanders. But that shows the impact that Shador Sanders have that comes with him. You're not only getting Shador
Yeah.
Sanders the player, you getting Shador Sanders the brand that comes with it. So it's going to be interesting to see, what the Browns going to do with Flacco. If and obviously he's what, the third or fourth string quarterback. I don't know how I don't know how ready is Deshaun Watson over there. But obviously Flacco is going to be the starting quarterback. So we're going to see. He put a lot of pressure on. I mean, albeit this was the first preseason game, we still got to
Yeah.
see more of him. But his first game, he put on quite a performance. So I gotta, because the whole world is waiting for him to fail, giving his background,
Yeah.
giving who his father is. The whole world is waiting for him to fail, and he came out there, and it was funny because he had a clip where I guess B writer was always talking down on him when he was writing about him, and there's a confrontation with him. He's like, man, and he was upbeat about, man, you always talking down on me, kind of like, what do you got to say now? So
Yeah.
that was a great little exchange that those guys had. So yeah, shout out to Shedeur Sanders, man. Shout out to Shedeur.
Yeah, for sure. And then, the Eagles, man, they're looking prime to repeat, man. The defense, the offense, I mean, they're looking real prime. I mean, as it looks right now, NFC, I mean, I don't see nobody really, barring any injuries, but the Eagles is prime to repeat. Honestly, coming out the NFC and even to win it all, I gotta be honest. But I will say, because I'm a Ravens fan. With that being said, every season here on out, as long as Lamar Jackson is there, is win or bust. And it's the same thing for Josh Allen and Burrow. I mean, I feel like Mahomes, he don't really have pressure. He's just adding on to a legacy. Anything he do is just adding on and just basically making him go up in the all-time rankings. So Mahomes is just adding on to legacy. But these other guys, Lamar, you my guy. But when you won the MVP once, it was like, all right, but now that you two-time MVP and you should have been a three-time MVP, it's win or bust. So yeah, the Eagles are trying to repeat, but Ravens, what's good? We gotta, we gotta make it happen. So that's what I feel like. A lot of guys like those Burrow, Lamar, Allen, win or bust. Point blank, period. But the Eagles, I stamp right now, definitely look prime to repeat. They have no flaws. I mean, the whole offense is damn near back. I think Jalen Hurts, I will commend him because he doesn't fall into trying to prove people wrong. You understand? Like, oh, they saying I can't do this. Let me do extra. And that's what the whole makings of a great team is. He's not worried about the critics and like, oh, let me try to act like I'm going to go for 500 and try to do this. Nah. Y'all can say what y'all want. I do what my team needs me to do. And when they need him to step up, that man performs in the postseason. So I commend him a lot for not falling to that peer pressure and trying to do extra. Your team is a well-balanced team. You got receivers. You got a great running back. You ain't got nothing to prove. You got that chip. So you prove that. Everybody hold that. So that's why I'm like, he's a smart guy. Eagles got everything in place. And barring injuries, man, hey, man.
And it's important to note that only nine teams in NFL history has repeated as NFL as Super Bowl champions, with obviously the most recent with the Kansas City Chiefs. So if you look at their offense, right, they bringing back their cores, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley. But the thing that concerns me the most is on defense. They lost about several key contributors to that Super Bowl defense. I'm going to name them. It was Darius Slade, Josh Sweet, Brandon Graham, Milton Williams, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and Mekhi Becton. So you got to – I know a lot of these players, a lot of times when they win Super Bowl championships, they want to go on and get bigger bags and go to other teams. Because when you look at NFL and defenses, a lot of defenses is interchangeable from year to year. It's hard to keep these defensive players intact with NFL and how the salary caps and stuff is set up. So we're going to see. We're going to see if Eagles, being that they got their core offensive players there, but we all know defense wins championships, and Eagles had one of the top defenses last year. So we're going to see how these new key pieces that they plug in for those losses, how they're going to pan out this year. But they favored to win the NFC East, you know. So by them being the favorites, it gives them a puncher's chance, you know, to get back to the Super Bowl. And you mentioned Mahomes. I think Mahomes is on a mission this year. I know you mentioned Lamar Jackson, but he has to get over that hump. They said this about 2 years ago about Lamar Jackson. He got to get over the hump this year. He got to get over the hump this year. Like, it's no more. There's no more. Like, if you don't get over the hump this year, then what? Right?
See,
then what?
as a Ravens fan, see to the point, it's not a coaching issue. Me and my man James, what up, man? We was talking about this, a big football guy. And it's not a Harbaugh problem, the Ravens. It's a mentality. They have to get that. They need to bring in Ray Lewis, McCaffrey, all these all-time great defensive players and add them to that defensive coaching. Get this mentality in there. Because they got Ravens, we known for defense. Our mentality, the defensive mentality that we want. If we would have had a Lamar Jackson with the Ray Lewis, we a dynasty. You understand what I'm saying? But they don't have that mentality on defense. For the first time, we actually have a legit offense, running back, quarterback. We always had a good rushing attack. We always was a little bit shaky at the quarterback. Flacco caught fire in the playoffs. Salute to him on a championship run. But we ain't never have no Lamar Jackson at a quarterback. You understand? So it's like now that we have that, we don't have the defensive mentality. We might have a good string of defense, but then the playoffs come and then we look shaky. That's what I feel like. We don't get rid of the coach, man. Because I have a feeling that if we don't win, they're gonna try to blame the coach. You know how they want to blame, and it ain't the coach, man. And even last playoffs, Lamar did his thing. He had the little interceptions, but it was some drop, like it be key drop passes and little things that be messing them up. So I just don't want them to. The coach. We need to get some of these all-time great players, man. Ray Lewis got a statue outside. Right. Why is he not part of the coaching staff? Especially
maybe you don't want to be a part of it. That could be a reason too. Never know.
Well, unless that's said, like Ravens, we got a lot of all-time. Ed Reed has a coaching job somewhere. We know that. But we got a lot of all-time Rod Woodsons, Ray Lewis, McCaffrey. Like, come on. Let's get some of these guys in there. Let's get this mentality. That's what we need. But
so what? You know, so being a Ravens fan, do you feel like if the Ravens don't at least, I won't even say win, if they don't at least make it to the Super Bowl, then what do you think should transpire with that team if they don't make it to the Super Bowl this year?
If we don't make it to the Super Bowl this year, and that depends on how we plan. Like, you know how like you watch a game and you be like, yo, Lamar Jackson is doing his thing. But then, like, the defense got to step it up. Or if the defense is on. So it depends on what the issues are, you know? So as one of them wait and sees. But I will say, depending on what the issues are, because we added Hopkins and some guys on offense to help with Lamar. We still got the 2 tight ends. Still got Derrick Henry. So, I mean, we got what we need to get there. So I think that if we don't make it, honestly, I'm going looking at the defense, man. We gotta get that Ravens mentality because that's our identity. It was always our identity. So I just feel like they need to bring that back. They need to, and we're not gonna never be the 2000s Ravens defense, especially in this NFL. I'm not saying that. But we just need to get that identity back on the defensive side of the rock.
I mean, you know, I'm looking at these stats, man, and what Lamar Jackson did last year. You know, at the quarterback position, they solidified, right? And a lot of times that is the hardest thing to get for a franchise is your quarterback, having a franchise quarterback who's able to produce at a high level. What's the general said? You have to.
Stop it! Wait! He hate what I said. Like he hating on Mr. General. Stop hating on me. Stop hating on me. I'm just saying. I'm not making no excuse. I just said we got to do what we got to do. But I'm just saying, defense is the identity, and they don't put enough emphasis on it because we got Lamar now. I feel. That's what, and that's basically what I said.
You're right.
Chill,
to add on to that point, yeah, Ravens have the elite quarterback, right? That's the hardest thing for a team is to
There you
get
go.
a franchise quarterback,
There
right?
you go, man.
It-
You said you coming in on piece of a combo. You didn't hear the whole thing, so you jumping on me. And I've been said that, bro. Did I not say it's win or bust every season for Lamar?
yeah, he did.
So, Sajiro, chill before I come at you.
But shout out to my man Sajiro, man. He
Yeah,
always chiming in with the insights. But
yeah,
again, like we said, at this point of time in his career, and as Sajiro alluded to with all his accolades, the quarterback position is set. Lamar Jackson is set. At this point
yeah.
in time, you got to get over that hump. You got to be able to be the man in these key games and outplay the opposing quarterback. Obviously, we all know defense win games, but if you could score enough
Love you too,
points,
bro.
you could win the game. If you could
Yeah,
score enough points, you are able to win. So we got to see, man. We got to see what Lamar
yeah,
Jackson does this year because I guess everybody is talking about it like this is the year of the Raven. This is the year of Lamar Jackson. This is year what 8 he's in now. So
I think it's seven. I think it's
seven,
seven.
7 to 8, but it's about time
Yeah,
that Lamar Jackson prove his accolades and add the Super Bowl
yeah.
championship to that
Eh,
repertoire. It's time.
And it's gonna
We'll
be
see.
like this every single year, period, for the rest of his career, unfortunately. But
Unfortunately,
that was we touched on the football, but I ain't gonna front. I gotta we gotta start off. Scottie Pippen, what's up? How you doing? You all right? You good? Scotty, I'm coming for you. Now you good? You hear me, Scotty? You good? Yo, listen. And I'm not gonna lie. And bro, you got your bull stuff on. All right, man. Like, this is the only thing, like, now for me, it's like, I don't know what's going on, right? Scotty, you were a great player, right? I remember it was once upon a time, bro, when I was working at Dick's Sporting Goods. It was an older dude, he said he played ball. I'll cook his ass. But anyway, older dude, right? He looked me in my face and he said Scottie Pippen was a better player than Isaiah Thomas, Zeke, right? Because they was having it than Zeke. And I said, I said, you're out your damn mind. He's like, no, Scotty, he was really arguing me. I'm like, yo, right? And I just mentioned that, right? Because it's like, because I'm not even going to talk about him and Michael Jordan as far as like, that's why I mentioned that. Because that's like, we didn't even need to talk about that.
not even debatable.
Yeah, it's like, Scotty, you're a great player. But now I'm starting to think that you want to be viewed like LeBron and Mike and like Larry Bird. And it's like, yo, you're not like that, yo. And some of his takes is like, yo, if you would have got drafted to the Hawks, you would have still got your 6. How? How? You know what I'm saying? How? Like, and Mike, maybe he would have got 2. Honestly, even if you never came to the Bull, not to say, because we know he needed you, but Mike was so good. I feel like, because honestly, it was a lot of big games you ain't show up in. Like, they could have probably beat the Pistons in 90 in game 7 if you didn't have the migraine.
Facts.
Mike did his part.
Facts.
So I just don't like some of the takes because it's like you want to diminish. Like, no one never said Mike didn't need you to win. He even said it. But I just feel like he wants to get credited like, you were this dude. And even like when Mike left, you had the Bulls did fantastic that first year.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all lost to the Knicks. It was a little crazy call with Davis on the 3, and y'all ended up losing that series. But then the next year, y'all was stinking the joint up. And Mike came back. So it was like you had 1 year where y'all killed. The next year, y'all was stinking it up.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike came and is like, all right, I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you was petitioning for him to come back.
Vouching for Mike to come back. You needed Mike to come back.
Yeah, so it's like, and then as much as he wanted to get on Mike about, and see, I love Scotty, but it just seemed like, I don't know why some of his takes, it's like, you don't need to do that. You a great player, man. You don't got to bring Mike down to prove how great you were. We all know how great you were. All-around player. Like, we all know that. everyone sees it, but it's just a certain status that you just not viewed on. It's the
Right.
same way like D Wade when I remember he was talking about like there's levels and stuff, and he like yeah he got his chips, but he knows certain rooms he can't go in or
Right.
he's not there. And I
Right.
feel him. It's like Scotty. I think you think because you got the same amount of championships, then I mean, it's like okay, that's part of it. But then now we got to get to you as a player and the
Hmm.
level of that. And it's like you know, like realistically, are you a better player than Charles Barkley because you got more chips?
No.
And that's the point. So I just think that he thinks that him and Mike is equal or he's better.
Right. And okay, it's a lot
Go ahead, do your thing, bro. I know
to
you
digest
yeah,
here.
you go ahead. Let me sip the coffee, man. You go ahead, man. Talk man.
So, all right, when we look at Scottie Pippen, right? There's
Yeah,
no question that he is a great player, one of the top 7, 6 small forwards ever played a game, right? Now,
yeah,
in comparison to say let's say like a LeBron James and the Wade, right?
okay,
Guys
yeah,
that won championships, or like the LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. And I say this because we got these are two a
yeah,
part of our segment, right? And you
yeah,
look at Dwayne Wade, he could go out there and give you 30 if he wanted to, right? And go and carry you, right? Look at Kyrie Irving with LeBron, right? He go out there and give you 30, 40 if you need to, and carry you if you need to. Pippen is not that type of player. Pippen was a great complementary player to Jordan. So if Jordan would have had somebody that was and mind you, this is not to discredit Pippen. Pippen was great defensively, not a great offensive player. He could get you little buckets here and there, maybe surprise you, get you a 30, but he can't give you that consistently because his game wasn't predicated on that. When the Chicago Bulls, your game was predicated on being a defender and giving Michael Jordan that space to do what he got to do and getting some points here and there and just being a fit in that triangle offense, right? And mind you, Pippen didn't win without Mike. Mike didn't win without Pippen, right? So let's put that out there. But for Pippen to say that he would have won 6 championships without Michael Jordan, the greatest player to ever play the game, you got to understand, Pippen, you played with the greatest player. There's no argument about it. Michael Jordan is the greatest player to ever play the game, right? Look at the 1986-87 Atlanta Hawks roster. You would have had to play alongside Dominique Wilkins. You, by no stretch, in any basketball shape, form, is complementary to Dominique Wilkins. Y'all games does not complement each other, brother. You had John Battle, Antoine Carr, Scott Hastings, Cedric Henderson, John Concat, Cliff Livingston, Mike McGee, Doc Rivers, Trey Rollins, Spud Webb, Dominique, Gus Williams, Kevin Willis, Michael Wilson, Randy Whitman. Michael Jordan is 10 times better than everybody on that, minus Dominique Wilkins. And you going to say you would have won 6 championships with this team? Because granted, you won 6 championships with the Chicago Bulls with Michael Jordan, that one team. You would have won 6 championships with this team? No, you won't even. And granted, not even granted, you went right. Michael retired. Let's say Michael Jordan's Chicago Bulls era retired at 36 years old. You are what, 3 or 2 years younger than Mike, right? You went to the Portland Trail Blazers after that. It was you, Rasheed Wallace, Steve Smith, Damon Stoudemire,
Sabonis,
Sabonis. Like you had
Bonzi
a
Wells,
legitimate, huh?
Bonzi Wells.
Bonzi Wells. Like that was a legitimate squad. You had a chance up
Smitty.
15.
Yeah, Smitty too.
Smitty, you up 15 in the fourth quarter against the Los Angeles Lakers, and you lost. You think if Mike was on that team up 15, y'all would have lost? No. Then you went to play with Hakeem Olajuwon, Charles Barkley, Clyde
No, wait, yo, bro, your mic keep going in and out. Your mic keep going in and
Oh,
out.
I'm sorry because I was getting animated. And
Yeah.
then you
And then
went.
that was before Portland though, and Clyde Drexler wasn't on that team.
He was, but that was before. That was, wait, he was on. Wait, he
Houston
was on Houston.
before Portland, yeah,
That's
right after
even
the
worse.
Bulls.
That's
But
even
Clyde,
worse.
Clyde Drexler wasn't on the team though.
Okay,
Clyde
let's
Drexler
take
wasn't
out
on the
Clyde
team.
Drexler. You was
Yeah,
on it with Charles Barkley, Hakeem
Hakeem, yeah,
Olajuwon, and you couldn't win. And that was even worse because you was about 35, 34, 35 at that time because Mike retired at
yeah. They
36
lost. Remember, they lost in the first round to the Lakers
to the
in
first
the
round.
playoffs.
So you talking about you'd have
Lakers.
won 6 rings without Mike. You had your chance without Mike twice, and you couldn't do it.
No,
And
no, no,
you
no,
had
no, 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 bro. 3 times. Because remember, 1 year on the Bulls when he wasn't there. So that's 3.
I'm counting. I'm counting. I didn't count that because I wanted to count him without the Chicago Bulls on other
Okay.
teams. You know,
Okay.
so I didn't.
Okay.
That's why I didn't count the Chicago Bulls. But if you
All
want to
right.
count that, yeah, you could throw that in. But he played with other great players, Hall of Fame players, great teams, and still couldn't win. So for you to
Yeah.
sit there, and I feel like Scottie Pippen wants to get out of his shadow. That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
He wants to get out because he got 6 rings, but it's like, yo, I'm in Michael Jordan's shadow. But again,
Yeah.
Mike alluded to and said he would have not won these rings without you. Like he gave you the ultimate props. So for you to sit there and constantly kind of discredit Mike and saying that you could have won
Yeah.
without Mike, that is a slap in the face to Michael Jordan. And that's a slap in the face to yourself because you're making yourself look crazy by saying these
Yeah.
things, and the whole world knows this is not true.
Yeah. And I bought Scotty's autobiography and read it. And it's like, yeah, like it's like, damn, Scotty, like, I mean, it was a great book, but then, the parts when he talk about Mike and stuff, it just, I don't know. I just wish they didn't have beef, man. That's it. Because I feel like, it just takes away. And what makes it worse is that Mike ain't arguing back.
No, I mean
So it just,
he doesn't need
you
to
know, so
argue
it,
that.
I'm just saying though, so that's what make it worse. Because you just be saying stuff, you're not even getting traction from who you trying to come at. It's
Right.
just very just like, so, but
Right.
I
And
don't know,
Styles
man.
and Michael Pippen was a perfect fit for the Chicago Bulls, the triangle offense, and Michael Jordan. Right?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, by the greatness that he is, even if they say they wouldn't even draft a Scottie Pippen, they would have found somebody to pair along Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan still would have won chips because Michael Jordan is that great of a player, and Michael Jordan gets the most out of his players. Scottie Pippen, that is not true, bro. You are a complimentary player. You are not this superstar player like we alluded to being a Dwayne Wade or a Kyrie Irving. That is not you. You are a complimentary player behind the greatest player that ever played the game. So let's stop this narrative, Scotty, that you would have won 6. If you wasn't paired with Mike, you would have won none. Let's keep it a buck. None. And you had your chance outside of it.
Yeah.
Let's stop.
And to also chime in too, if we being totally 1,000, a couple of them chips, and I'm gonna be specific here. 91, he definitely switched on Magic Johnson and made that a different series. Scottie Pippen, give him his credit. Cool. All right, that was in 91, the first ring. In 92, I don't remember the Blazers series, so I can't speak to that one. But in 93. The Bulls won because of Mike. He was outstanding. And Phoenix was a better team than Chicago. I don't care what nobody said. Top to bottom talent. And Phoenix dropped the ball, dropping them first 2 games at home. But you know what it was? The best player took the Bulls over the top. You dig? So that's why I feel like Mike gave the edge in that Phoenix series. That's one example. All right, the 96 against the Seattle, I mean, and then the Utah series, it's a couple games. It's like, the point I'm making is that he gave them effort and edged them over because things were so tight. And in a couple of those games, Scotty was a no-show. So they could have messed around and lost.
Right.
Even game 6 in 98, he had the messed up back. They went, like, you was dead. You couldn't really go.
You couldn't even go.
So, nah, this isn't a Michael James, LeBron and Michael Jordan combo. Whoever that
no,
is not.
JoJo is not.
Nah. So I just think that, like you said, you just gotta show a little more grace, man. That's it.
Show a little more grace. You got 6 championships. You play behind the best player to ever play the game, and you got 6 championships out of it. You know what I mean? So salute to you. Salute to you.
Yeah. And since we was on that too, we could talk about the duos. The Kyrie Bron or the D-Wade Bron, who was the better duo? I ain't gonna lie, like I mean, they came back to 73-9 and they had an epic finals with the 40 pieces. But I gotta go with Bron and D-Wade. They made the finals every year together. Yeah. And D-Wade took a back seat. So by choice, you know, to help Bron get to the next level. And he actually helped Bron get to that next level. You know, and it's documented. So I gotta go with Bron and D-Wade. Even then they had the 27 straight games that they won in a row. And I mean, I gotta go with Bron and D-Wade.
I mean, if you want to go by like stats, right? Then obviously Bron and D-Wade got it because, you know, the amount of championships they won. But man, I'm gonna have to go with Bron and Kyrie, even though they haven't played as long as Bron and Wade did. Kyrie Irving was obviously a way better scorer than the Wade. Not to take away from the Wade. We all know he's great, but I think Bron and Kyrie was a better fit than Bron and Wade, because when Bron came over to Miami, it was all documented. He had to concede. Well, Wade had to concede because they couldn't figure out the spacing and how they could play with each other. When Bron went to Cavs, they went to the finals that first year. But
they went to the finals every year too. Yeah.
Kyrie was injured, Kevin Love was injured, and what happened? The next year they came back and they won it, right? So looking at it, it was a better fit with Bron and Kyrie because of the style of play and the off positions that they play. So to me, even though Bron and Wade won more, I think if you'd have kept Bron and Kyrie together longer, they would have had about 3 championships. 2, they would have tied up with Miami as far as championships in that duo. You know, I just think that we didn't get enough because Kyrie, again, and it's documented, when he signed his extension, he was like, he wanted to be the man. So he was finally the man. And then you had to get LeBron James coming over there. And he was like, you know, he didn't know how to take that, right? He didn't know how to understand how to be the leader or vocal. He just wanted his own team. And then Bron came over there. Obviously, Bron is who he was. He played how he played, and they won that one championship over there. But I just think, for me personally, I know that Dwayne Wade and Bron, accolade-wise, stats-wise, that looks like a better fitting outing, but that Kyrie and Bron situation, if they would have stayed together longer, because we see what Kyrie Irving is, right? When he went over to Dallas, him and Luka, they went to a finals, right? So Kyrie proved that he could be a player that could play with somebody, off somebody, and be that, and still be that guy and go to a championship. So I just think that we was robbed of a Bron and Kyrie unison for longer than a Bron and Wade unison. But I think Bron and Kyrie was better, in my opinion.
Yeah. We don't get Cavaliers Bron without D-Wade, though. That's the point I'm making. It's all possible.
That's true.
Because of D-Wade and what he helped LeBron to understand and how to be going forward. But
we don't get a Cavs championship without Kyrie and that 3-pointer over Steph Curry.
I mean that's Kyrie has nothing to do with what the point I'm making, though. It's about Bron. He had to learn how to get to a certain point. So we don't even get that without the D-Wade time.
I get you saying, yeah. I get what you're saying. I
I
get what you're
feel like
saying.
D Wade helped him even be that.
But does helping him makes that a better duo?
Yeah,
Because
but they won more. They
talent
won
wise, you
more.
got to give it to Kyrie and Braun. Talent wise,
Talent wise, yeah, but you know they won more. And
they did.
honestly, we could say we robbed what? We ain't robbed nothing because Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and them wasn't losing jack booty. You see,
That was a cheating team.
they spanked Kyrie and Braun 2 years back to back. And
That
if
was a
they would
cheating
and
team.
it, and they would have had a three-peat if he ain't tear the Achilles.
That's true.
So
That's
was it
true.
none? So was it nothing happening while Golden State was like that?
That's
I'm
true.
sorry.
That's true.
So I don't
That's
care
true.
how long they stay together.
Mhm.
So
But
you know
that's a
what I
great
mean? If
debate.
you,
That's a great
yeah,
debate. That's what people talking about.
yeah,
Everybody's going to have their opinion on that.
yeah,
That's I like that one. That was a great one. I was like, we gotta give our 2 cents and change on that one because a lot of
yeah,
people
for
is
sure,
talking about
for
that.
sure, for
But
sure.
absolutely.
And you know, and other news too. I didn't even know about that, but Melo almost teaming with Kobe in LA.
Hmm.
You know what's crazy? Like Kobe could have had so many great teammates. Probably could have prolonged his career, and it's like something always happened where it almost looked like a conspiracy for real
Cause right. Yep.
of some shape before. Because it's like he could have had Chris Paul, could have had Melo. It's like, yo, damn, why none of this got to happen?
I think the
Crazy.
world, and mind you, this was 2011. This was before
Yeah,
he went to the Knicks. Well, this was in lieu of him going to the Knicks. Um, in that trade where Knicks gave away their whole goddamn team for Melo,
gutted the
which is
team.
crazy.
Yeah,
But the
yeah.
offer was, so let's go with the offer was. So the offer was Carmelo Anthony, Nene, Nene for Lamar Odom and Andrew Bynum. So that was the offer that they had on the table. So it was suggested that Lakers wanted more. They wanted more picks and they wanted more players for Lamar Odom and Andrew. I mean for Carmelo Anthony. So they was trying to,
You saw
the
the
Lakers
Nuggets
wanted
wanted more. You
more.
saying
Yeah, Lakers wanted
the
more.
Lakers wanted more?
The Lakers wanted more, but the
Okay,
Lakers wasn't willing to give up any more than Lamar Odom and Andrew Bynum. So that's why the Knicks gave up their whole entire team and picks to get Carmelo Anthony and stuff from Denver. Lakers wasn't willing to do that. So that's what was suggested and why the trade didn't pan out is because Lakers wanted more. Which I can see because if you look at Carmelo Anthony, right, at 2011, Carmelo Anthony was in his prime. To give up Lamar Odom and Andrew Bynum, that's for Carmelo Anthony, even though probably money wise would have made sense, but talent wise, that would have been a stupid trade for the Lakers to do. I'm looking at this trade. Yeah, that would have been stupid. Lamar Odom and Andrew Bynum for Carmelo Anthony and Nene. Like, take out Nene's great, but Carmelo Anthony, that's why the
I,
Knicks
I'm
get.
ge- I'm confused because certain stuff you saying is like it sounds like it should be from the view of the Nuggets, but you're saying the Lakers. I'm trying to. That's why I'm trying to follow what you're saying. So you saying
Oh, no,
that
no.
the
I'm sorry. My bad. Repeat
yeah,
that.
because
The Nuggets wanted more
all
from
right, now it
LA.
makes sense to me. Because
Sorry.
I'm like it ain't making sense.
Yeah,
It sounds like
sorry.
okay,
Yeah,
now we
sorry. The
good. Now I'm
Nuggets wanted
following it.
more.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah. The Nuggets
yes,
wanted more
okay,
than Lamar Odom and Andrew Bynum. They wanted some
okay,
picks and they wanted some younger players. And
yeah.
Lakers at that time wasn't able to
The
do
Lakers
that.
they were trying to swindle. Yeah, they
Yeah,
wanted to keep as much as they could keep. Yeah,
So
okay.
that's but I'm just looking at it and I'm like 2011 Melo with Kobe, Derek Fisher,
Pau
let's see,
Gasol.
Paul Gasol. That's a chip, bro. That's a chip. Now the only thing I wouldn't, the only thing that would get to me and is like how would Kobe style and Melo style fit? Because they both, and that's 2011 Melo, that's 2011 Kobe, where Kobe was still winning chips. How would that dynamic fit?
Yeah, bro, your mic keep going in and out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on,
Yeah,
let me bring it down. I'm like,
yeah.
yo, how would that dynamic fit with a Carmelo Anthony and prime Kobe Bryant because they both are ISO type players. And I don't know. And the triangle is really, if you look at the triangle, it's not really fit for two ISO players because of the way that offense is structured. It's structured around a big man and a off guard to be able to have these options. I don't know how they would be able to add a triangle with two ball dominant guards in order to have that type of movement because Kobe gonna need the ball and Carmelo gonna need the ball. That's why the Kobe Bryant and Chris Paul trade would have made way more sense, was a better fit for Kobe than the Carmelo and Kobe. But granted, if that would have happened, I'm sure LA would have found a way to make that work and get players around them. And to have Melo and Kobe on the same team, ooh, that would have been entertaining to say the least for the league. But I just don't know how it would have transitioned into full-fledged wins. I mean, championships with that dynamic.
Yeah, because you kind of, even though it was a different offense, but the whole AI Melo, they both were scoring, but they ain't win. So it's like they're gonna get the buckets, but like you said, the winning part. So that would have been interesting to see how it would have worked. So
right,
yeah, I agree.
That was a huge what if, but I guess that was something that the Lakers looked at him like Carmelo, and that's why you see the Knicks gave up their whole team to get Carmelo.
Yeah, but you know what they did? The Brooklyn Nets, I feel like, put pressure on them because they was in the bidding. So they wanted to make sure he ain't go to Brooklyn. Because I felt like the Knicks felt like if he would have went to Brooklyn, he would have just stayed in Brooklyn because he's in New York technically, and he's from Brooklyn. So it would have been like, okay. So they knew if he would have went there, it's the big chance he wasn't going to come to the Knicks. So I felt like Brooklyn helped make them do that too. You know what I'm saying? So I remember that vividly too. When the Nets got in the bidding, it was like, oh, hold on, wait. Word? So yeah,
they gave
I remember
that. We looked at that.
Yeah, it's like who you gonna play with? It was just him and Amari. Like he ain't had nobody to play with. He ain't had nobody to play with.
Yeah, that was crazy. I feel like that really hurt Melo. His because he could have situated himself better to at least compete for championships. He didn't situate himself, and this is why you got one of the best scorers of all time, like never even make it into a finals.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to be one of the best scorers of all time. Normally, if you are an elite scorer, you're going to get to that chip at least one time. Melo didn't have the opportunity because of the way his career panned out. And it started with him not being drafted, Detroit not drafting him. I think if he went to Detroit, he could have got at least 1 or 2 rings, But I think in that free agency period, that was his time to really go to a team where he could compete. He went to the Knicks and he had no team over there. You look what LeBron did with half of those Shumpert and Gerald. He won a chip with him, Yeah. So I guess I think he was robbed of that trade going to the Knicks while they went and gave away their whole team for Melo. And unfortunately, we're just in New York putting up buckets, but ain't nothing to show for it.
And I remember him saying in that free agency, we also got robbed because Derrick Rose's injury and
Chicago.
Noah. I mean, so he would have went there. He was saying like, yo, but it was some uncertainty. So it's like, But
I think he even had a better chance in Chicago because they had a great defensive team at that point.
No.
I mean, they would have had a better chance because
remember, Derrick Rose and Noah was injured. It was injured. No,
but they still have Butler over there.
No, I don't think Jimmy Butler was in the NBA just as yet.
When he wasn't in 2011.
I don't think so. Don't quote me. You can look it up. I'm not sure. And if so, even if he was though, bro, he wasn't Jimmy Butler of now. Jimmy Butler had to develop. He still was a defensive-minded guy, hustle guy at that particular time anyway. Oh, so Gerald said Jimmy was in the league. Yeah, he wasn't, but he wasn't Jimmy Buckets yet. He didn't have he was not Jimmy Butler.
I mean, he wasn't Jimmy Buckets.
He wasn't Jimmy Butler. He was not a factor. He was not a factor, bro.
You picked Carmelo.
You're not signing to a team because of him.
Right, he was just a guy, but you put a Jimmy Butler who was developing with a Carmelo Anthony
No,
Jakeem Noah.
no,
I'm not saying they win championships, but they would. That was a
no,
better team of fit to
no,
me than the Knicks.
no. It wasn't. It wasn't. It's the same thing. It's
All
the
right.
same thing. To me, you know what I mean? He didn't make the smart move, got the bag. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But and then I what's the deal with this one though? Uh Shaq couldn't win by himself. You dive into that one because I didn't really understand where you was going with that one. So yeah, go
So
ahead.
when you look at Shaq, right? Because he was over there in Orlando, and so I saw this on. I think I saw this on. It could have been Facebook. I'm not sure. When they was talking about how somebody had said, I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." When they said it, they were saying if you look at Shaq's career, right? Shaq, when he was in Orlando, obviously he couldn't win with Penny, right? He didn't stay long enough in order to win with Penny. At least he got to the finals with Penny, but he didn't stay long enough. He left and darted early. No chips. Went to Lakers. I think he was there, what, either 1 or 2 years before Kobe, really,
No,
before
he
Kobe
came there
got
the
there.
same. Oh no, he came the same year as Kobe,
Same year as
but Kobe
Kobe.
was the rookie. Yeah,
And during that tenure, Shaq was that guy, right? They
yeah.
couldn't get over the hump. They couldn't, albeit they didn't have Phil Jackson at the time, but they still had Shaq. They still had Jones, Exel, a great team around Shaq. Couldn't get over the hump. It wasn't until, and this is what they said, it wasn't until Kobe developed into Kobe that they started winning. So we look at Shaq, and then obviously we see what they did in LA. Shaq leaves. He goes to Dwayne Wade, who was an upstarter, killing the league. He wins a chip with Dwayne Wade going over there. So there you got to look at Shaq's career in hindsight because Kobe won two without you, right? Two. So you got to look at Shaq's. Now it makes it, if you look at it in that perspective, you look at Shaq's career like, was Shaq really the catalyst for championships, or was it the other guy? And Shaq was just because he was the most dominant, yeah. But what is the other guy, right? Was it Kobe? Because we always talk about Shaq was he winning, the finals MVPs and stuff over Kobe. But was it really? Even though the numbers show Shaq had more points per game than Kobe in some instances, but you can't really say that Kobe was a sidekick to Shaq by any means, based on the numbers. If you look at it, Kobe, I think, what year was it when he even averaged? What playoff series was it? I don't got the numbers where he even averaged more than Shaq in the playoff series. So I'm just looking at it. When somebody said that, I was looking at it in a different way. Like, yeah, then after Miami, those was his golden years was over with. Went to Phoenix, Boston, all that. But look at his prime Shaq. Was Shaq really the guy, or was it the other guy that really got Shaq there? That was a question I was like, interesting. It's an interesting question to ask because somebody said Shaq didn't really win until Kobe became Kobe. And that's what made me say, maybe they're right about that. Because Shaq talked about, he always this braggadocious guy, I got 4 rings and, I'm this, that, and the third. But Kobe was the guy that seemingly got you those 4 rings. 3 rings. Anyone 2 without you. So was you really that guy or was Kobe that guy?
I mean, see, it like suggested it was both a perfect fit. But see, yeah, me the thing I don't like with that because we all know it takes a team to win. And honestly, saying Shaq not being a guy is blasphemous because if Shaq is not playing against Philly, they're not even beating Philly, bro. Like, I'm just using it as an example. Like, that's why I don't like these questions. Like, because Shaq was a big difference in every series. He was the guy. People forgetting
Absolutely.
Shaq is a big man. It's the same thing with Kareem. He won a championship in Milwaukee with Oscar Robertson, his guard. And then when he came to LA with Magic, he's a big. So it's different when you're a big, you need somebody to get you the ball and do all this other stuff. So it was like, yeah, you need the right piece to complement you. But Shaq's dominance changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Absolutely.
and honestly, the whole thing with Orlando, yo, the whole Nick Anderson fumble killed him. So that's one of their top. That's their third option out the series now because he missed the
Mm-hmm.
four free throws. So
Mm-hmm.
now and confident shot. So now it's like, yo, like okay, you going against Hakeem Olajuwon and them. Your third option is finished,
Mm-hmm.
finished. So now is that whole series is different. Had Nick Anderson make the free throws, they don't blow the lead, then we may be talking about a different series potentially.
Mm-hmm.
But that game, that first game, it kind of killed Orlando. And it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't because Shaq got outplayed by Olajuwon, but it wasn't like Shaq got cooked like David Robinson or nothing like that. And
Mm-hmm.
Penny did his job. So it was, that's why I feel like with those questions, it's like people want to take credit, but it's like, nah, everybody needed each other. And I know Kobe gets like, oh, like Shaq carried him. That's because people want to take away from Kobe and vice versa. It's people just want to take away from whichever person they're going against to make a
Mm-hmm.
point. But it's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. Shaq not playing none of them series. All them they probably lose all of them series. And you can say the same thing if Kobe's not playing. They lose
Mm-hmm.
all of them. And that's why they was great together and they complemented each other so well. They both
Mm-hmm.
had instances where they dominated and did their thing because there's no match. But if you look at all of them series, there's no answer for Shaq. Period. I
Yeah,
don't even think he
absolutely.
had any. I don't even think he had a bad game during the three-peat in the championships. The
Mm-hmm.
Nets, he ripped the Nets. He ripped Philly. He ripping the Pacers. It's like, you understand what I'm saying? It was a couple
Mm-hmm.
games when Shaq got fouled out and Kobe, but that's because Kobe was young and Kobe understood who Shaq, like his game.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, why? It's like common sense says, if I have this big dominant dude here, let me make him kill y'all, wear y'all down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Then
Mm-hmm.
fourth quarter, I could eat and do my thing. It's
Mm-hmm.
great basketball. They needed
Right.
each other. It's almost like with Scotty and Mike trying to discredit Mike in this. It's like, nah, you're needed. Like, oh, everyone's needed. Everyone has value. But to try to
Mm-hmm.
discredit one to say, oh, this one, I don't like when they do, especially when you watching it. Because, for
Mm-hmm.
example, the Philly series, I'm like, yo, if this motherfucker Shaq wasn't playing, man, god
Mm-hmm.
damn. AI
Mm-hmm.
probably have a chip.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't get me wrong, like Kobe did his thing, but Shaq's presence makes that different.
Mm-hmm. No,
So, and it's
absolutely. I'm. Mm-hmm.
so that's why I don't really like them when they saying, "Oh, Shaq was he the guy?" Yes, Shaq was the motherfucking guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes, he was. He was every bit of that. But it's just that
Mm-hmm.
people want to take away all the time. It's a lot of people wanting to discredit and change narrative and this to make this and
And
it's
move the
like, nah.
goalpost. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we don't need to do that. You understand
Right.
what I'm saying? Shaq was killing it. Kobe was. I think what I will say is Kobe's presence is undervalued during the three-peat.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes people trying to make him get his just due and his proper credit, it's like we got to try to take away from Shaq to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, nah, we don't got to do that. People just got to open their eyes. Go watch those games. Go
Mm-hmm.
really see what was going on. And then I
Right.
feel like this wouldn't even be a thing.
Right.
Nobody would be questioning Kobe's presence or on the
Mm-hmm.
runs or none of that. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But and that's like, you be calling me the historian, but it's like, seriously, people forget in 2001, Kobe was averaging 29 a game.
29
They
game. Yeah.
both averaging 29.
29. Yeah.
And in
Mm-hmm.
the playoffs, they talking about Iverson versus Kobe. Kobe
Mm-hmm.
averaging 30, Iverson averaging his buckets.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Kobe was doing his thing, but it's almost like if you don't know, that's on you. You gotta do
Right.
your research and look that up.
Right.
Because it was the Batman Superman type of ordeal.
Right.
Nobody was being carried. They was carrying the Lakers,
Mm-hmm.
them,
Right.
but not this one carrying that. And that's
Right.
working well together. And that's why
Right.
they won 3. And if they had they act together,
Mm-hmm.
they probably would win way more. But we don't got to discredit either one of them because that's the wrong thing. And that
Right.
just lets me know, like, y'all didn't watch, y'all didn't know what was going on. Y'all ain't watch it. Y'all
Right.
didn't watch it. And it's bigger than just
Word,
Kobe
talk to him,
stepping up.
Mel. Mm-hmm.
Nah, 'cause it's bigger than even when Kobe stepped up in the game when Shaq got fouled out against Indiana.
Indiana,
It's
yeah.
like they want to talk about the one game, like, oh yeah, this is like, nah. It's a series, and if you're not really paying attention to the whole series, because even for example, I'll make it even another point for Kobe's point. Against Philly in game one, Kobe didn't have a great game. Shaq had a monstrous game, and they
Mm-hmm.
still lost to Philly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once Kobe said, all right, yo, four straight,
Mm-hmm.
four straight. Yeah,
Gentleman sweep.
it's like the 48 in Sacramento. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, yo, if you understand, they both had moments. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why it's like, there does not need to be any discrediting to show anyone of their value. Because
Mm-hmm.
you could point to both signature moments that they had, and Kobe did, Shaq did this, and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a definition of a team is, and good complementary players. Like you said, Scotty, you a complimentary guy. Hold it down.
Let me get my gavel. That's it. Mel ended that topic. Mel ended
Yes,
that
sir.
topic. You
Come
know?
on, man. Let's not do
Absolutely.
it. For real,
Absolutely.
man. You know, I just don't like when they do that. I see too much of pitting people against each other too much,
Yeah.
man. I don't like that. I don't like
Absolutely.
that.
All
You
right,
know what
bring
I
it to the
mean?
next topic. You got that one, Mel.
All right, man. I mean, all right, yo. I will end it with the other one. So I'm gonna tell you what can Ant-Man be better this season? You know,
Mm-hmm.
so just at the gap. Yo, man, yeah. I mean, Ant-Man. I'm gonna let you dive into that one, bro, because I got a comment about it. I'm gonna let you dive into the Ant-Man. Go ahead.
And I'm gonna say this about Anthony Edwards. He's one of my favorite players.
Mm-hmm.
And last year, 2025, I feel like even though he led the league, I believe in 3 points. Well, let me see. I want to make sure that I get it right. Yeah, he also led the league in 3-pointers with 320, right? I felt that the 2024 season was
Mm-hmm.
like, I felt like that was the Ant-Man that arrived. He beat KD in them. And I felt like that was that Ant Edwards. That mid-range game was on point. He was looking like he's going to take over the league the following year in 2025. It got out that they wanted him to work on more threes and, working on the outside game. And I feel, in my opinion, that digressed his game because now it made him more guardable. Because now you worried about the previous year, he going to hit you with a sidestep or whatever and hit you with that midi. Now it's just like, play that man at a 3-point line because his mindset is, I want to take more threes. Good, let him take these threes. And that kind of digressed his game a little bit. And I just feel like Anthony Edwards is good to shoot it because that's what analytics say, a three, taking more threes is better than twos or overall win a game per analytics, which I hate because the analytics, as you can see, took away from Ant-Man's game and what his strong suits are because the man is athletic as hell. He could get to the rim anytime he wants to. Why, if you have the ability to get to the rim anytime he wants to, why would you settle for 3-pointers? And I go back to the great Kobe when he has said, do you think the style of play James Harden has, do you think that's going to win a championship? Kobe said no. Why? Because in the regular season, yeah,
Exactly,
that's cute.
Cedro. Exactly.
That's cute.
Exactly.
Yeah, it took pressure off the paint. Right. That was cute. But in playoff time, when the defense is more keened on you, all that shit is out the window, bro. All that step back 3-pointer shit, that shit is out the window playoff time, and it makes it makes you easy to guard. So I think for this season, for Anthony Edwards to be that player, he needs to go back to what he was in 2024 in lieu of what he was in 2025 as far as 3-point shooting and combine those two. Once he does that, hopefully he does that this year, Ant Edwards I feel he's gonna be the MVP. I won't say finals because that team still, I don't think him and Julius Randle is enough to get them over that hump, especially with OKC and how they looking right now. Especially with Denver and how they looking right now. Even Los Angeles still got Luka, skinny Luka. You got to see what they're going to do. But if Anthony Edwards come and say, you know what, I ain't taking it three, limit his 3-pointers to at least 100 less a game and add 100 mid-range attempts to his game, we're gonna see that Anthony Edwards. I think he should be better this year. But if he wants to say, I had 320 last year, let me go for 420 this year, nah, he gonna digress even more.
I mean,
Absolutely,
I don't
Jerry. Rather
disagree
settle
with.
for threes.
I don't disagree. I just think that unfortunately, with them making the conference finals back-to-back years, I think Ant Edwards has put himself in a position where it's like, got to get to the finals. Otherwise, it's like it's a fail. You made it back-to-back years, and that's even with trading away Cat. So it's like now the next step is to get to the finals. It's almost like Luka. They made the conference finals, lost to the Warriors. Then he had Kyrie made a run. They got to the finals. So honestly, winning is, however it got to get done. But I think that he's put himself in a certain space now as a player with making it back-to-back conference finals, people having expectations. I just think now the success of his season is going to be what he does in the postseason.
And let me interject right quick.
Yeah,
I think by losing Karl Anthony Towns, that was the worst thing that could have happened to Anthony Edwards' game. And this is why I feel like he had to take all those threes, because he was lacking that middle presence that Karl Anthony Towns provided for that team. I don't know why they gave that man up, because his game and Anthony's game complemented each other well. I don't think Julius Randle game complements Anthony Edwards' game all that well. So I think getting rid of Cat Williams ultimately led to
Cat Williams.
He must have been on my head. Getting rid of Karl Anthony Towns, that ultimately led to Anthony Edwards saying, okay, listen, I gotta take more threes. I don't know where that came from, as far as analytics is concerned, but losing Karl Anthony Towns really hurt Anthony Edwards' overall game.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, he made it with him and without him. That's why I'm saying his success is going to be judged off what happens postseason. Because it's like, okay, if they wouldn't have made it as deep without Karl Anthony Towns, then I'd have been like, oh, damn. But it's like, okay, yeah, made it to the same point, basically. So now, you hit everything on the head, honestly. So we just got to see what he does, what the Timberwolves do postseason. You know what I mean? And that brings us to our last topic, man. The best basketball movie of all time.
Oh, I love this one.
It's a lot of good candidates, man. A lot of good candidates. See, me off the top, of course, He Got Game. That's a personal favorite for sure. And I think being from Brooklyn, and no matter what Spike Lee and what everybody say, that movie was based on Marbury. That's just like, it is Marbury. Ray Allen was Marbury.
Because Marbury was supposed to play in that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think being from Brooklyn and really understanding a lot of the dynamics and stuff, it hits even harder. So that's He Got Game for sure. I love Above the Rim. I love Above the Rim is dope.
I still got my jersey, the shooters.
I love Above the Rim. I love Above the Rim, man. Dwayne Martin really could hoop too. And the one who shot and the one who shot Leon could really hoop too. Wood Harris. He could really play ball too. Like,
it's documented,
Yeah, I could both of them. But yeah, nah. But nah, they really could play, man. Well, I mean, see, you know what movie? I know you, Blue Chips.
Blue Chips, I was hoping Blue Chips was incredible. That was an incredible movie.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I gotta watch that again because I can't like dissect it. So that's a movie I gotta be honest. I gotta rewatch that.
I mean, the story behind it was kind of like because they asked Shaq who did they want to cast in that movie, and at the time, because I don't even think they wasn't even. Yeah, he was at LSU at that time.
Yeah, No, Penny wasn't in the league yet. I think Shaq might have been a rookie or something, but
Yeah,
Penny wasn't in the
Penny
league yet.
was at, yeah, was it Shaq?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, Penny
Penny?
wasn't in the league yet, and
Okay.
Shaq was telling them to draft Penny
Yeah, to
because
draft Penny because because they came to the tryouts and the workout
yeah,
and it's like, yo, this guy, I want this guy to be in the,
yeah,
so because of that dynamic, that was a great basketball movie. And that spawned into them actually playing together on Orlando.
yeah,
Let me
yeah,
go through some of these movies right quick.
yeah. Go ahead. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm gonna give, so we got Coach Carter,
That was a good
Above the
movie.
Rim, He Got Game,
Hmm.
Love and Basketball,
Oh yeah,
Hoosiers,
oh yeah.
Hoop Dreams, Like Mike, White Man Can't Jump, Rebound, Blue Chips, The Sixth Man, Sunset Park, what
I
time
watched that
is
movie
it?
like a couple
It's time
months
to
ago.
get
Yeah.
it's time to represent.
Hey,
The Air Up There, that was a good one. You ever remember that movie?
nah,
It was
I
like
never seen that.
I thought it was like a tribute to Manute Bol because the guy, what's his name, Kevin Bacon, had went like to Africa or something to scout players, and it was this tall dude, like it was like what the hell? He was like, playing in barefoot, and he went and got him to come over to play professional basketball. You gotta watch that movie.
Yeah, I
Up the
never.
Air Up There.
Oh, you talking
Joanna
about
Man, huh?
Air Up There? That was on Netflix. And Ant Edwards was in it.
No. That was this is where
Oh, it's an
Kevin
old movie. Old
Bacon.
movie. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, my bad, my bad, my bad. My bad. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
that
I'm
came out
making.
in '94. Um,
Okay, yeah, I gotta go back.
we got Joanna Man, Space Jam, obviously. Um, you
Soul in
got
the Hole is in there. Even that's like a documentary.
which one?
Soul in the Hole. Soul in the Hole. The gym
Uh,
about Booger. That's more of a
nah.
documentary though. That's more of a documentary though.
Yeah, that wasn't in there. I mean, they
Okay,
got a
more of a
lot. I mean, I
documentary.
could go through. There's a lot, a lot.
All right.
I went through like the most notable ones that
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because yeah, we'll
everybody
be here all
know.
day going through all of them. Yeah,
But
I got you.
my favorite
Uh huh.
one, and is one of my all-time favorite movies, Love and Basketball. I don't know what about that movie.
It's a classic movie.
It's
It's a
a
classic.
classic movie.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's a classic.
And all these movies, and again, this is subjective. We picking our
Yeah.
best basketball movies all the time. Mine is Love and Basketball. I could watch that movie now, and I could have watched it yesterday, and I could still watch it again now, and I'll still be like,
Yeah.
drenched in the movie. I just
Yeah.
love the part where it's just so crazy where they stories and how they kind of reversed, right? And it was like, because Omar Epps was the star, USC, Sanaa Lathan was just coming up, at USC in the women's team. And then it was that pivotal moment when it was like, it was like, I play you for your love. You beat me. And that nigga
Yeah.
was busting her ass. She was like, God damn, dude, this nigga really don't love me. And then at the end, he was like, double or nothing. I was like, oh, that's what's up. You know what I mean? So I don't know, something about that part in the movie.
Yeah.
Always
Yeah.
like the sentimental value of that, with the how they stories kind of contrasted and came together. That was a dope movie. But my second notable, obviously, got to be Space Jam. That's just my notable. I mean, I say Space Jam only because LeBron tried to do it and he fucking sucked. Like that's why
I never watched Space Jam 2. To this day, I never watched it.
Please don't. Because it's gonna. I mean, no. You know what? Watch it to see how great Space Jam was. You should watch it. I watched it. I was like, this is horrible, like horrible. But Space Jam got to be up there as far as like all-time great movies, just because you had Michael Jordan at the peak of his NBA career. Albeit it was going in between the retirements and stuff like that, but it was still at the peak of his NBA career, doing a full-fledged movie, then coming back and playing and coming out of retirement and playing like that.
Yeah.
You really get that type of nostalgia in a movie, a basketball
my
player
favorite part-
that magnitude. So
My favorite part in that movie is when Charles Barkley went to the park, and then the girl was like, "Yo, be gone, wanna be?" Yo, I will never forget that part. Charles Barkley went up with the girl. He like, "Yo, I've been bumming it. Let me go play with the girls. I'm probably cook them. Let me get my confidence back."
yeah,
Yo, the girl was like, "Nah, you ain't Charles Barkley.
you ain't Charles Barkley.
Nah, that part was To this day, I could watch it a million times in a row and I'm gonna still be crying, dying laughing. Violated her. Oh
Yeah,
man.
Space Jam was dope, man. You know, I mean, it's a lot of good movies.
Yeah.
Obviously, like Mike was a classic with Bow Wow. That was a classic
Yeah.
basketball movie. Hoosiers, obviously, that's like I said that's like a folklore basketball classic movie.
Mhm.
Hoosiers, you know, and based it out of Indiana and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
Sunset Park was dope too, man. I
Yeah.
like
I
that
watched that a couple
story.
months. Yeah. Yeah.
That
Sunset Park was
story,
fire. I watched that,
and
like I said, a couple months ago, and I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, it
you,
still hit
you
the same.
and you know, because I put best basketball movies of all time. Space Jam
Uh-huh.
2 wasn't even in this shit.
I mean,
Trash,
enough said. I mean, enough
trash,
said. Enough said,
trash.
man.
But yeah, man, you know, that's my favorite. Mom was loving basketball. What was yours again?
My favorite is probably He Got Game.
He got
I
game.
like He Got Game, and then I also mentioned Above the Rim, but He Got Game is probably at the top. You know,
Yeah,
like I said, it hits home personally because it's about a Brooklyn guy. It's in Brooklyn. It's we
right.
live this. I understand everything that's going on in there for real. Like
Because
funny
I'm like,
thing
yo,
when I
how you
moved
got
up,
Ray Allen playing at Lincoln, and you
yeah,
know what I mean? He didn't even play there.
yeah,
Steph was pissed
yeah,
that he didn't get
yeah.
cast for that role. Like, how
And
you
when I
gonna do a
moved,
movie about him and not have him at least? And then if you're not gonna have him in it, at least give him a scene or something, like at the end
well,
credits.
they did mention him in it though when they were talking about people who made it out, and they were talking about Stephon Marbury, and like because they was like people who didn't make it and people who made it
But they
when
did
Ray
a
Allen
whole
was riding
movie
around.
about Stephon Marbury, but
Yeah,
they
yeah,
just say, yeah, people didn't make it out. No,
yeah,
like that
yeah.
movie was
But then,
Stephon Marbury, bro.
but then we know that. But like I was about to say when I moved out here, this dude he played ball, he could play. And he know the movie, but I'm like, yeah, that movie is about Marbury. He was like, word? I ain't know it. I'm like, yeah, everything that was Marbury's life. He was like, yo, I never knew that. So it's like you know, outside of the city, I think everybody don't really realize that that's Marbury's life. That was like so,
Right.
you know.
But again, the only people that knew was the people that was from Brooklyn, right? So if you go to
Well,
Jersey,
not necessarily from Brooklyn, but if you
but
ain't
that
really
people
in
that knew
tune,
ball, but that
yeah.
was into the story. But again, maybe if you went to Jersey, right?
Mm.
Maybe Jersey. Okay, we could say Jersey. Pennsylvania, they may not know like it was Stephon Marbury. Where was the guy at that said he didn't know about Stephon Marbury? Where was you at?
Out here, South Jersey.
And
But then again too, he's also like maybe like almost 10 years younger than me too though. So his age got something to do with that as
that plays
well.
a factor. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what I
But
mean,
yeah, I mean, listen,
that was
man.
all the topics.
That
Yeah.
was episode 22 of Two Cents to Change the Podcast.
Yeah.
Listen, next week we're going to have a very special guest with us, Samaki Walker, NBA champion Samaki Walker. You know, we definitely want to ask him some nitty gritty Kobe questions. We want to get inside the Mamba because that was the year that they was winning back-to-back championships. So we want to know, we're going to get some insight. We're going to get some insight on Samaki Walker and his time in the league. So we're going to have a great conversation, man. So tune in next week. Two Cents to Change Your Podcast. It's crazy because it's going to be episode 23.
Yeah.
We
23.
got to pay homage to Mike on that episode since it's episode 23. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to pay homage
Sure.
to Mike, the GOAT. The GOAT. Episode 23.
No.
But you know what it is, man. It's your boy, C.O. McLean.
It's your boy Melly Mel. This is episode 22. Kind of that 23
22.
might throw people up, but episode 22. Episode
Yes.
23 is next week, y'all. So
Yes,
tune
and
in.
episode 21, we're going to drop in a few days with our guy from the Lakers room. We didn't bring that one out yet because we had to catch up on a few clips. But with that, you're going to see some clips dropping this week from the Lakers room. So shout out to you, bro, as well.
Yeah, and that was a fun episode too, for sure.
Absolutely. All right, man. Signing off. Episode Deuce 22. We out. 2 Cents.
All right, y'all. Peace.
All right.